If you want laser targeting with your ads and you want to reach the exact right people, one way you can do this outside of messaging in your actual ad creatives is by setting up a lookalike audience. And what a lookalike audience is a targeting option where you can directly control the sample size that Meta bases it off. So what does this actually mean? Let's say you have a customer list of at least 150 people, or maybe 100 on the lower end. You can say to Meta, hey, take this list and find me 1 million more people exactly like this list. And obviously, because Meta has alien level technology, which I'll kind of go into explaining in another video, it can actually find real people that are very close in behaviors and identity to the people that you want. And there's all sorts of things you can do with this. You can export your Stripe customer list, so anyone that's ever paid you, take out the list of people who have paid, create a customer list of it, and then a lookalike audience to find more people like the ones who've paid you before. And this is incredibly powerful for agencies, coaching, consulting businesses, anything high ticket, and even e-com stores. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. So this is a sample ads manager account or ad account, and I'm going to show you exactly how to create this custom audience. So all we're going to do from ads manager is we're going to head into audiences. And before we create a lookalike audience, we first need to create a custom audience. All right. Now you can upload a customer list. You'll get presented with this screen over here, and it shows you exactly how to map everything out. Okay. Now you can download this file template, but make sure you spend some time just understanding exactly how you should be formatting the Excel spreadsheet or the .csv file that you do upload. But just for some general guidance, you don't really need all the information. The best information to have are the main identifiers, which is first name, last name, emails, and phone numbers. If you have those 4 things, Meta will be able to find the right person. And if you have any extra information, that's just a bonus. So back on the screen here, you can see everything that we can have, which is really, really cool. But again, you don't need any of these things. You just go ahead and click next, and you can upload the .csv file over here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload one and come straight back to this recording. Cool. Now, once that's been uploaded, you can scroll down and you can actually assign a customer value to the file that you just uploaded. And if you want to know what a customer value is, it's basically just how much a customer or client was worth to your business. So let's say you were to upload a customer list, a list of every single customer who's bought from you in the past. If you wanted to, you could have a header that says value or whatever the identifier Meta wants you to have, and then have a number that tells Meta this person was worth more compared to this person. So let's say you're offering an agency service or a coaching offer. If your ticket price is at least $4,000, but you have other packages that are worth $20,000, you can say to Meta, hey, these type of customers are worth 20K, 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 10K, and these type of customers are only worth 4,000. What Meta will do is it will try to find more of the people that are worth $20,000, which is a really, really powerful thing that you want to have in your customer list if you haven't already. However, if all of your customers are worth the same amount of money, or you don't have different LTVs for different customers, which I highly recommend you should, and again, I will make another video explaining how to maximize the lifetime value of a customer, you can just go ahead and leave that blank. So for this, I'm just going to select no. Audience label, you can choose to label it whatever you want, right? Qualified leads, disqualified leads, high value customers, low value customers, and then you can just call it whatever you want. So I'm going to call this example. Okay, example clients. Right, add any description that you would like, and then go to next, and then you're going to map everything out. Now, this is example. I'm not going to scroll down to reveal other customers, but you can map each field, right? So this thing here, it doesn't know who it is. So this could be their first name, this could be their surname, and as you can see, as you map it, it's going to come up as mapped. And once you've done that, you just click import and create. However, what I'm going to do instead is actually show you how to create a different type of custom audience, one that uses anyone that's actually clicked onto your Instagram or Facebook profiles. That is also equally as valuable, especially if you want to go into slightly more advanced advertising or retargeting strategies. So if this is the customer list that you want to upload, you go ahead and click import and create, and the rest of the steps are pretty simple to do. Okay, but I'm going to go back and create the other type of list. So if I go back to the start, click back, we can actually create a list of people who have visited our Instagram profile, maybe clicked on an instant or a lead form if that's what you're using, maybe they've watched some of your videos, or any other option here. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to go ahead and click Instagram profile. This is my Instagram. Audience retention. What this means is how far back do you want to go? So if I want to target people who have engaged with my Instagram account in the last year, this is the exact settings I would have. Or I can select one of these other options. People who followed me, so I can retarget my followers. Again, people who've engaged with me. People who have visited my profile. So this is people who have clicked onto my profile, not necessarily liked or engaged or followed my account. And then this is someone who's engaged with any of my posts or my ads. And then this one is anyone who's saved any of my posts or my ads. Now that tool right there, anyone who's saved any of your posts or your ad, is a very, very underrated option to create a custom audience off of. And I'll tell you why. If you create content that's highly educational, it's very middle of funnel or bottom of funnel style content, you're going to notice that the people who save those types of posts are people who are actually prospects who are likely to buy from you in the future. And if you're creating a custom audience based off those people and then go on to create a lookalike audience of your potential clients and prospects, that is a very, very powerful targeting option that you can have in your ads manager. So just something to keep in mind. And then if you're over in the US, I don't actually have access to this targeting option, but if you are in the US or just outside of Europe, or most definitely at least the UK, you can actually target people who've messaged your Instagram account, which is also really good. If you use your Instagram DMs to book appointments or set appointments, you can retarget them with all of your content to re-engage them, show them social proof, and a lot of crazy stuff. So for the sake of this, I'll click people who have saved any post or ad, and you can go back 180 days, or you can go back 365 days, however far back you want to go. I don't really recommend going back past a year, I just don't really do that. The further back you go, the colder the audience will be, but at the same time, the larger the pool of people will be. And then you can go ahead and call this whatever you want. So I will call this IG Savers and 365 days. My description will be people who have saved any post or ad in the last 365 days. Okay, I'll go ahead and create audience, and boom, that's it. We've just created our custom audience. Now listen, you can straight away use this in your ads manager and you can start targeting people with just your custom audience, but keep in mind the amount of people in that audience is going to be very, very small. And it's not necessarily the best thing to do unless you are specifically targeting people who have, for example, saved any of your posts or your ads. So if you're intentionally wanting to only target that tiny group of people, go ahead and you can start using that audience straight away. However, in order to create a lookalike audience, this is exactly what we have to do. We're going to go straight into create a lookalike audience, and it will automatically select the lookalike source, which is awesome. And if you want to create a different lookalike audience based off another custom audience that you created, you can just click X and select whichever one you want. You can select the audience location. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to select United States, okay? And then select the audience size. You might have heard other advertisers use things like 1% lookalike audiences or 2% or 3%. Let me tell you exactly what it actually means. Having a 1% lookalike audience is choosing the location, i.e. the country you want to target, and whatever the 1% size of that country is, that's going to be the size of the audience that you have. So for example, let's say the United States has 100 million people inside. I don't know if that's accurate, just made the number up for the sake of simplicity. If the United States has a total population of 100 people, when you create a 1% lookalike audience, Meta is going to find 1% of 100 million, which is 1 million people, who are most similar to the exact type of people you want to reach. So it will find an audience of 1 million people who are most like the Instagram savers, which is the custom audience I just created. And the same thing goes for 1 million people who are like the people who may have submitted a lead form, or 1 million people who are like the people who have visited your website, maybe purchased something, or are actual clients on a customer or a lead list. So coming straight back into the ads manager, Meta has said 1% of the United States population is 2.8 million people, and what Meta will do is it will find 2.8 million people who are the most similar to the Instagram savers, which is the custom audience I just created. You'll have the estimated reach down here, and you can go ahead and just click create audience. And once that's created, it's going to start populating. Now, technically, you can use a custom or a lookalike audience that's still populating, but I don't really recommend it. What populating means is that Meta is actively going out there and finding those people to put into that audience. So this audience that I just created is supposed to have almost 2.8 million people. However, as crazy as the technology is and as crazy powerful as my desktop and my laptop may be, you're not going to find 2.8 million people straight away. Meta needs time to find those people and kind of analyze the behaviors of all its users and match it up to the most probable to convert for your ads. So what I recommend doing is just waiting 1 to 2 days, allow it to populate until it goes from populating to ready. And once that's happened, boom, you are all set to go to begin setting up your ads campaign and selecting the custom or the lookalike audience you just made to hopefully get better results. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment any questions that you have. And if you want to work with me to get better results with your ads manager, of course, no income claims, nothing like that, go ahead and check the link in description to book in a call with me. Outside of that, I hope you guys have an amazing time scaling your business. I'll catch you guys in the next one.